Let's do a deep dive into the most boring parts of pen testing, That's odd, I appear to be getting a video call from Tyler Ramsby. Hey man, what's up?
Yo, Tiberius, since your apparently part-time job is attending every cybersecurity conference as possible, I have a question for you. Which cons do you recommend going to, and what is some advice that you would offer to all of us noobs who have maybe only been to Defcon or never been to any con at all? Which ones do you recommend? What advice do you have for us? I'm looking forward to hearing your answer.
Tyler hung up. Great question though. Let's answer it. Conventions in the hacker community come in all shapes and sizes, from massive gatherings to secret invite meetups. Choosing which one is right for you depends on what you're looking for. I've been to more than a fair share, so I'll break down a few of my favorites with their key pros and cons. I'll also share tips on finding cons in your area that might be easy for you to get to if you're on a budget. But first, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, ThreatLocker. When a security incident strikes, clarity and speed are critical. ThreatLocker's unified audit empowers IT professionals by consolidating detailed activity logs, application executions, accessed files, network connections, and device usage into a single, searchable dashboard. Investigations that once took hours across fragmented systems are now completed in minutes. Quickly pinpoint suspicious behavior, validate compliance requirements, and accelerate forensic reviews with precision filtering and comprehensive event visibility. Unified Audit eliminates log chaos, strengthens your security posture, and ensures no critical event is overlooked. Whether you're tracking down a rogue macro or investigating server anomalies at 2 a.m., immediate clarity is at your fingertips. Bring speed, confidence, and control back to your security operations. Discover more about ThreatLocker's unified audit today at threatlocker.com/Tiberius. Defcon is one of the oldest hacker cons held every summer in Las Vegas. It's also huge. Tens of thousands of people attend to watch talks, compete in contests, explore the villages, and of course go to the parties. I go every year without fail, especially now that I run 3 contests. The sheer variety of things you can do is, for me at least, a huge plus. The energy is turned up to the max. Defcon started as a party and it's kept that feel. There's also a lot of opportunities for networking. You'll meet industry pros, make new friends, and plenty of connections for the future. Now for the downsides. It is crowded. Last year there were over 30,000 attendees, so expect long lines and sold-out hotels. It's also in Vegas in August, so not the most pleasant environment to be in. The new venue at the LBCC is pretty nice though. There's a lot more space to move around, and it's one location instead of the 4 hotels it used to be held at. Even still, it might feel overwhelming, especially if you're going on your own. One thing I can definitely recommend to solo hackers is to get in touch with the Lonely Hackers Club, who will help you find people to hang out with at the con. Another downside is the price. If you pre-registered early, you could get your ticket for $540. Alternatively, you can buy a ticket at the door for $500. These prices are high, especially as a few years ago entry was only $300, and when combined with hotel costs, flights, food, etc., Defcon might be too costly for some people. Personally, I don't think the price is too bad if you consider what you're getting. The con is 3 to 4 days long, depending on how you count it. There are 5 to 6 main track talks, not to mention the talks going on in the villages, plus official contests, parties, and other events. Simply put, there isn't really a time during Defcon where something isn't going on. The same cannot be said for almost any other con. HackSpaceCon is a unique con held at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's quite literally in a building among rockets and space vehicles. You can walk outside at lunch and go see the Space Shuttle Atlantis or buy pieces of Mars from the gift shop. Some of the talks and a lot of the swag is space-themed too. HackSpaceCon holds a special place in my heart as it's the first con I was a speaker at. Since the Space Center is an active launch site, if you're lucky, you might get to see a rocket launch. One of my core memories from HackSpaceCon is walking 2 miles down a nearby beach with Trash Puppy, Joe Helly, and John Hammond, watching a SpaceX Falcon 9 launch, then returning to the con hotel for a pool party. Any downsides? Well, the con is pretty small, and other than talks and a lockpicking village, there isn't much else to do, though I guess you do have the Kennedy Space Center to explore. The location might be difficult to get to for some, but it's well worth it. THOTCON is a relatively large hackathon in Chicago, and before you ask, the name comes from Chicago's area code 312. It only happens every 2 years, and talks are not recorded, so there's more reason to go see them live. There are after parties, contests, a lockpicking village, the full works. It's a lot of fun, and Chicago is also a great city to visit in general. The location, while officially a secret, is not in the downtown area like BSides Chicago, another Chicago con. This means there aren't many hotels nearby, so you may have to find an Airbnb unless you're okay with a bit of travel to and from the venue. Those are just 3 cons I've been to in the past year or so, and they show how different cons can be even when they're all about cybersecurity. Others I've enjoyed include ShmooCon in DC, sadly no longer running, HushCon in Seattle, they also have a New York City version, BSides Chicago, and BSides Connecticut. As a quick aside, you may be wondering why there are so many BSides conventions around the world. There's BSides London, BSides Singapore, even BSides Reykjavik. Is BSides some huge corporate convention entity? No, in fact it's quite the opposite. BSides, or Security BSides to use its full name, is a non-profit organization. Every BSides event is independently run by local volunteers who apply for permission to use the BSides name and branding for free in return for upholding the community-focused principles on which BSides started. Pretty cool, right? When choosing a hackathon to attend, 3 big factors, size, location, and cost, will shape your experience. Large cons like Defcon, Black Hat, RSA, and InfoSec World have plenty of things to do but can be overwhelming, while smaller cons like BSides Connecticut or HushCon offer a much more intimate vibe. You're more likely to run into local people, and it's easier to have deeper conversations. Mid-size events like THOTCON can be a nice balance between the two. Location also matters. Destination cons like Hackspace Con at the Kennedy Space Center double as unforgettable trips, but might require more planning and money. Local cons, on the other hand, are low commitment and easier to access. You can often drive in, meet local security folks, and sleep in your own bed. Then there's cost. Some cons like Defcon or Black Hat aren't cheap, especially with travel and lodging. But many BSides events are free or under $50, making them perfect for students or first-timers. Think about what you want out of the experience: adventure, learning, networking, and pick the con that fits your goals and your budget. One additional thing to think about is whether you want to go to a corporate expo or a hacker party. Cons like RSA and Black Hat might have talks from hackers, but they are very much vendor-focused. That might be your thing if you're a business owner or a CISO, but if you're like me and hate the corporate vibe, look for cons that are more fun. Weird contests, parties, lockpick villages, etc. Thankfully, for me at least, that does seem like the vibe at most cons. If money is tight, think about volunteering at the con too. Some larger cons have a budget and will pay for your hotel, possibly even travel and food expenses. Local cons may just let you in for free if you're helping out in some way. You'll also get a behind-the-scenes experience that most do not get to see. Speakers generally don't pay, but submit a talk to the Call for Papers, CFP, either way, because if your talk gets rejected, you may still get a discounted ticket. I know this from experience. At mid to large size cons, the folks running contests also often get in for free. I run 3 contests at Defcon, and in return I get a few contest badges for free each year to give to my friends who help me run them. If you have an awesome idea for a contest, I really encourage you to submit it. This year there are 75 contests running at Defcon. Next year, maybe yours can be one of them too. Okay, let's finish up by talking about how to find cons. If you're part of the community, the best cons spread by word of mouth, so talk to people, ask them which ones they go to and why. You can also use sites like infosecmap.com to find cons near you and filter based on several criteria. CFPtime.org tries to track upcoming CFPs for security cons too, so check that out. The main BSides site will also list upcoming events on their calendar, or there's a fan-made website called allbsides.com, which has a nice minimalist interface. Honestly, just searching for the name of your closest city and SecurityCon or HackerCon will likely return results for you. While these cons usually only run once a year, there are of course smaller meetup groups that occur more frequently. Defcon groups is a good place to start, though I fully recognize there's a little controversy with recent changes made to the organization, and time will tell if those have a larger impact. I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out my Chicago friends and the weekly BurbSec events they run all over the city too. I hope people found this helpful. Obviously, there's a lot to consider, but now you can make a little more of an informed decision. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, feel free to leave a comment telling everyone which cons you plan on attending in the future. A big thank you to ThreatLocker for sponsoring this video. To learn more about ThreatLocker, head over to threatlocker.com/Tiberius or click the link in the video description. Until next time, happy hacking.